We have ourselves a kiddo, we've got ourselves 10 minutes on the clock, and we're going to talk about Varia, which you haven't really heard about on this channel, so here we go.
There is no way you can do this in 10 minutes.
Oh, you just watch me. We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine.
You're bad at it!
Hello, my friends. Post-cough. It's been a while. I'm going to try... I don't really know what the last 2 months of this looks like, and I had a whole plan, and life and things just really get in the way, so it's difficult. And even so much where I did a couple takes of this, and I wasn't quite happy with them, so I've already kind of started. I wasn't feeling a beer today, so we're actually in Angel's Envy Bourbon Whiskey right now. I am not... I'd be lying if I said balls deep. I'm a couple sips deep, but here we go. Cheers. A little bit of whiskey. But I want to talk today about Varia. I'm going to work the microphone. Ha 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 ha. Talk about Varia. Boom. Boom. So, if you've gotten this far and like the title just didn't turn you off to the idea, I ask you to stick around for a little bit. 10 minutes, in fact. Editing Joe. Wife was right. It's 13 minutes. Shut up. Just shut up.
Told you!
Yeah. She's more smarter than me. Is gonna be my ask here. And even if you stick around for like the first 5, I want to share just something that's really interesting and the thing that I really like about this game. And then I've got some spoilers. I have spoilers for the thing they're doing, and I said it was going to be one of the first ones. I wound up being one of the last ones, and that's what anxiety and stress and work and things will do to you, so yeah. But anyway, I've got spoilers, so for the you Varia fans, stick around, because it's going to get real fun. But first off, for the rest of you, let's chat about what the hell is this thing, starting with my involvement. I'm helping these guys out. I'm helping out Ant and the crew, Ant and Sean, basically go from B to B to B, from B to C, business to customer, to B to B, business to business. As they ramp in, they've got a brand new 2-player battle box, Samurai versus Ninja, that is releasing on December 1st. You can pre-order it from their website, playvaria.com. But yeah, no, I've been helping that effort because I really, he kind of threw me a bone and said, hey, I'm willing to help because I know you're still kind of looking for contract work, and I got to appreciate him for that. And even just speaking to somebody who has met him on just a personal level, he's just a wonderful human being. Ant is a phenomenal person. He used to write flavor text for Magic also. How cool is that? There's some cool stories there. There's also some sad stories and how that process works. Anyway. But he made this game, and he said, I want the thrill of the 1v1 battler, but I also kind of do want those moments of excitement where like everybody can kind of look over and like, oh, what are the dice going to do and things like that. And when it comes to games that have dice, 99 times out of 100, they fucking blow. They're just bad because you build this whole strategy around what you're trying to do. You build a whole deck, you build a whole thing, and then like the dice they're ones. You rolled ones, and then you're boned, and like everything you were planning just dies in a fire, and that sucks. And it's usually what makes dice games terrible or like good for, people who don't really play games, but like, this is fun, I got a 6. But when it comes to card games, yeah, they're a little bit rough. However, Varia is the only one. I mean, the actually only one. And I say this as somebody who's played a lot of games that actually made these fucking things, these stupid things. One of them fell down. Whatever. These things, they actually made them fun. They actually integrated in the experience enough that they're not game breaking, but they're exciting, and I don't feel a loss of power because they exist. And that's done because of the mechanics that they have. So for you flesh and blood guys who've stuck around, I'm gonna relate this more to you because if you've already played Varia, you don't really you know how the game works. You don't really need this. So in Flesh and Blood, you've got the combat chain, right? You've got a string of attacks that can happen as the attacker that the opponent has to defend against. In Varia, the way that works is those attacks, the attacker will play them all in a row. They will play them before the defender even needs to defend. So that way you, the defender, can see everything a person is going to do before they do it. You can plan your defenses to it. And that's where the beauty of the dice comes in. That's where this basically becomes a bit of an odds management game. Every card has this little thing up at the top. Up. You got a power, an attack, a thing, a power thing, and you got a focus thing, which is basically if a thing hits or not. You'll notice that they're the same shapes as a D6 and a D4. That's important. So as the defender, I've got cards that I can essentially block with, but I can, instead of saying like I'm going to block and it's going to mitigate X number of damage, I can also look and say the odds may make it so the entire attack misses. And I get to look and say this is going to be the focus of the attack. This is the likelihood it's going to hit plus whatever the die roll is. I've got something that gives me a little bit of a leg up, like it's my die roll +3 or the die roll +2. So the chances of the entire thing just whiffing is really high. However, on this attack over here, there's like no chance I'm going to miss it. So maybe I'm going to maybe defend that a different way. So instead of it just being RNG fucking nightmare, it's odds management. And it's so goddamn cool. I actually really, really enjoy it. There is one gripe that I have, which is the graphic design. That's a whole big thing. Kind of wish stuff were a little bit easier. But as a game itself, this is really, really impressive. It is a really impressive game. It is a really fun one to play. It's a really fun one to watch. It's a really fun one to be like, oh, this one could kill him depending on the die roll, but it's not like the entire plan was based on that one die roll. It's he saved a card that gave him the best chance of surviving, and if it fails, that's not good for you. And if you just played like the Dark Souls board game, or basically any game, any video game where you have to dodge a lot, where you're basically a rogue and the risk is you either dodge in time or you take all of that shit in your face, that's basically Varia. And it's wonderful. It's fantastic. It is absolutely something I encourage you to check out. Like I said, the 2-player battle box, Samurai versus Ninja, is coming out December 1st. It's like, I think it's like $30 if I recall. And it has everything that you need to play. And just to try it out, just try it out as a game, honestly, and see what you think, about it. But like I said, he's going B2B. He's going a lot more B2B, so it's getting much more into organized play. We cracked it. We came up with a really cool idea for players and people who want to help build their communities, where they can be permanently etched in a card that becomes a part of the organized play rewards. It's called the Black Knight program. Proud of it, although it wasn't really entirely my idea. Gotta give props to Ant on that one. And some of the stuff is really cool. It's also making its way. It's making some waves in Italy. So yeah, it's doing pretty killer. But if you happen to be at PAX Unplugged in December, go check it out. And just check it out anyway. There's also a print and play version and things like that. It's a great community. But that's Varia. It's also an XCG. It's a living card game, but you can't legally call it a living card game. Thanks, Fantasy Flight. I know they made Netrunner and it's so good, but then they let it go and all that shit. But that basically means there's no randomized booster packs, none of those things. You buy a deck, you buy a thing, you buy a mechanical bear that throws traps down. Thank you. It's like a mechanical Riptide. I'm a fan. But everybody gets the same thing. Everything I need is in this box, and everything is changeable if I want to build decks and things like that. So yeah, makes it super cheap, and yeah, it's doing decent. Like if you're in this for value, one, welcome to Decks and Drafts, and you're part of the problem. But two, if you just want to enjoy a damn good game, Varia is just a really fun one. I've shown a couple of people with this, and even, regardless how they felt about like the entirety of it, because sometimes they did struggle, they couldn't deny that there were certain moments that were just so goddamn fun that it kind of turned the entire experience. And that's been the case with me as well, of like, I really, really enjoy actually having to use a little bit of the gamble as a strategy. That's not something I'm used to doing, and I dig that quite a bit. But for the rest of you, I do owe y'all a spoiler. In fact, I'm going to give you guys 2 of them, which I'm pretty excited about. So I'm going to pause myself for just a moment, which also means pausing the old clock. I'm going to run 2 videos, and we're going to come back and I'm going to chat about the spoilers. For the rest of you who have no fucking clue what this game is all about, that's pretty much what I wanted to say about Varia. Please check it out again, playvaria.com. But for y'all who are ingrained and very curious and what the fuck I got up my sleeve, stick around. We're going to chat about this in just a moment. I added a minute because that's how this thing works. I don't really just get to go back to 2. So whatever, I added a minute. Anyway, cheers. Huzzah. There's your spoilers. Let's talk about them. So, flying, I'm going to start with the artwork. Because holy shit, the artwork in this set is glorious. And I actually really like the artwork throughout the like kind of the entirety of it. It's got this kind of like Mad Max Doof Warrior grunge thing going on with all of the different classes. It's I'm also a sucker for line work, so all of the artists just really have line work down, just glorious. Anyway, back on task. Flying kick. One of the things we didn't talk about in this game is the ability to engage and disengage with your opponent. I can actually move the hell away. Instead of, hey, you're spending all this time swinging a hammer. How about I just get out of the way and disengage you? That's a thing that you can do in this game. And it's a part of the combat chain moments of like, I'm going to disengage so things don't hit me. I love this because part of this is also I can rush up and be like, that sense of security that you had and that you were away and this wasn't going to hit. No, I can run to your face. That's kind of what this thing does. And that's exactly what flying kick does. It works in a couple of ways. If the opponent's like disengaged, I can start with this. I can engage with the target. And I can plunk them, and then I disengage. I get away from them. I just kind of keep flying, Liu Kang style. And it's weird. Or number 2 is I can do this kind of at the end, where no matter what they do, like this last thing, I'm going to engage you and then disengage, and you're going to have to engage me on your turn. You got a couple options, which is actually pretty cool. I like it. I'm a fan. So yeah, flying kick. It's pretty neat. I appreciate versatility, and that's kind of what this does. Also, let's talk about key stance. Again, God, the fucking artwork. Are you kidding me? Are you shitting me? Okay. For those of you who know the rules, you already know the beauty of this. Your action in this moment and future moments have honed. Honed basically means that your focus, which is this thing, the focus die, this is either treating as damage prevention or it's being treated as damage. You can basically pick it. Or I should say, this is treated as either die, essentially. Which is good or bad, depending on what you need. But that's kind of the beauty of key stance, is it really is just, I'm waiting. Because you also get to choose one. This action is treated as an attack instead until the end of the turn, or it's treated as a block. So it's either purely, I'm going to get 2 plus this die roll to just see if this thing misses and see if I just get away from you, or instead, it's 2 plus this die roll of damage prevention, damage countering back at you, damage attacking, whatever the hell we want to do with it. Oh, screw it. I got a minute. Giving myself some time. These things never mean anything anyway. But yeah, that's essentially key stance, is I'm just gonna and I can use it for a lot of things. I love versatility in cards. It's one of my favorite things of all time. Straight up period. Look at intoxicating shot. Back to you fab people. But yeah, that's the same case with Varia, is that this is a super versatile card. Honestly, I see it being really useful in basically any deck, which is why you've got a little bit of influence there you got to work with. But it's just a straight up good damn card. And then it also, yeah, it's really pretty. But yeah, those are your spoilers. That's what I got for you. I'm not going to chug this thing because that's just not how I do it. But thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you for being a part of this. And yeah, please check out Varia, playvaria.com. Get it pre-ordered December 1st. Everything you need for 2 people to play a game, full game. And it's surprisingly good. Be on the lookout because they're working their way into a couple neat little places. Trust me, they're not really going to be like the next big thing, oh my god, but they are just kind of a very safe, very cool. This is a neat one, and I'm glad that it's played, and I'm glad that I have people to play it with. And you know what? When I want something that is fun and wild and weird and wacky, I'm going to pull this thing out, and it's going to solve all of that for me. And what's better yet is, as an XCG, I don't really have to deal with all the deck building stuff. I'm just going to grab my mechanical trap bear, and we're just going to go with it. And you know, that's pretty damn cool sometimes. So that's what I've got. Cheers, everybody. And thank you for sticking around.